everybody. Yep, that's right. I still showed up. Yes. Happy Memorial Day. Your girl came on at 8 today, 8:02. Yes, I already put out a little reminder letting people know that she didn't make it back in time. Hey, Brown Sugar 63, you get away. Thanks for showing up. Yes, your girl made it. Yes, yes, love. Yes. Listen, I love you if nobody else loves you. You're smart enough. You're talented. We're stronger. We're stronger together. Hey, Jason Proctor, what up? Hey, what's going on? Listen, happy Memorial Day. I got so much to talk about. I got so much to talk about, y'all. You know, your girl was a little late, okay, because it was Memorial Day and I was with the family. Hey, A Styles, what's up? One of the coldest hairstylists around. Y'all, I want to give a special shout out to Dulles Elementary School, okay? Dulles Elementary. Miss Andy, hey, I did some public speaking for them. I did some motivational speaking. I did career day for them. Shout out to the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders I got to speak to. And then I got a little token because the kids like what I said. Okay, so shout out. I'm going to be rocking this, right? Also, one of the babies, the 8th graders, Lila Bird, made this for me, right? You know it's something with the, I told you, baby, I was going to post it. She said the motivational speaking that I gave during career day made her feel a certain kind of way when they even interviewed me. I was like, I'm getting interviewed. Okay, let me go ahead. And one of the questions the kids asked me was, you know, how do you know you made it? You know, and I had told them, hey, Joni, manifestation, welcome. Y'all welcome each other into the room. One of the questions that they asked me when the 8th graders interviewed me after I gave the motivational speech during career day, they asked me, how did I know that I made it? And I told them, I'm still working on it, right? The fact is that you just don't give up. When the chips get hard, you go harder. You dust yourself off and you get back up. You won't know your best self until it's all said and done, right? And the only person that you're in competition with is you. It's always going to be somebody smarter, funnier, intelligent, all that good stuff. But God made you unique, right? And it will never be another one of you. I don't care how much plastic surgery is out. I don't care how many people can imitate. They will never be able to be you. And so I just said, listen, just keep being yourself, keep putting in the work, and one day it will pay off. See, I believe in being real with kids. I didn't want to get on, you know, come to their career day. Hi, I'm Andy the Barber Doll, and don't you want to be me? Like, no. Like, what you don't want to do is go into a situation where children really need encouragement, and it's a way for you to come and act like you just so amazing, right? They want to know how can they get out of the situation that they're in, or how can they better themselves. What they don't want to do is say, hi, I'm Annie. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and barber, and I just want to let you know that I'm bomb.com. No, I'm the wrong motivational speaker for you. You know, well, I'm the right one. But if somebody said that, like, I'm Andy and I'm here, kids, that's the wrong motivational speaker. And so my method to come in and speaking to the kids is actually being relatable, understanding where they're coming from, and not coming from a judgmental situation. You know what I'm saying? A judgmental point of view. So once again, I thank Dulles, Dulles Elementary for having me. It was great. Hey, G Bills, what up? Also, y'all, don't forget your girl play. Hey, the Ghetto Salon and Spa. Yes, yes. Listen, Science of Industry. Love what we were doing. They think it's a fantastic play. We did 5 shows already there. We're going to put on 2 more this Saturday, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock showing. 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock showing. Come show your support. The proceeds are going to the building on 6400 South Kedzie, the acting studio, so your kids can have something to do for the summer. Cassandra is in the process of buying the building. This lady here, she's walking on faith of buying a building. And so the city's supposed to give her a partial grant, and the proceeds of the play go to the kids in the community. All right. So go to the ghettosalonandspa.com and get your tickets. It is a comedy. So it's a comedy musical, a hilarious musical. Y'all gonna crack up. When I tell y'all, y'all gonna bust a gut. Y'all gonna bust a gut. Let me find out. This show came back around. Now I understood it was Mother's Day weekends. People had to take their mother out, or they were our mother. Okay, the smoke is cleared. Please, if y'all could come, show your support. Jody says you are so right. Young people have to feel a connection dealing with real life situations, and you have to face. For real, like the message that I gave the fifth graders and sixth graders, I didn't give to the seventh graders. The message I gave to the seventh graders, I didn't give to the eighth graders. Like everybody had their own customized message for the level that they were on. A lot of times people want to give out a general type of message, right? And that's cool for certain things. But the older a child is, they have to deal with more things. So you have to be more real and relatable, right? And nowadays, these kids is grown, okay? Like, so we can't keep acting like, well, back in the day, baby, this ain't back in the day. Social media has made these children so aware of what's going on. Like the things you used to be able to hide, the lies you used to be able to tell, you can't tell no more. Because social media has opened the door to let all the cat out. The whole cat came out the bag. You hear me? The cat, listen, the cat bought the bag, okay, and then jumped out of it, okay? So you can't just like lie to a kid, because all they got to do is go Google and find out, okay? Let me find out. These kids are tech savvy. You can't do what you used to do back in the day, lie. You know what I'm saying? This is only for grown folks. Okay, so no. The message has to be clear, and it literally has to be like the message that I'm about to give you today. It has to have some type of transparency. Let them know, like, listen, I ain't always been perfect. And I'm not perfect, but I'm whole. And God made me a new creature. And because I'm whole, I got love, I got joy, and I can have peace. And you can have that too. And those things are free. Love, joy, and peace is free. If it brings you fear, anxiety, depression, and that's with all of them. That was the general message. That particular message was for all of them. If anything doesn't feel right to you, and in your gut you feel it, baby, it's not right. And tell somebody. Somebody will listen. Somebody will care for you. I know the world will make you think that people don't care, but people care. Hell, I care. Tell me. And so that that message was for all of them. Like, listen, have love, have joy, have peace. If it makes you fear or have any type of anxiety, worry, depression, just makes you feel sad, this gloom that comes over you, something's not right, and we need to get some help. And it's okay. We want to tell kids everything is good, everything's great. No, it's not. And us shoveling underneath, hiding it doesn't make it any better. We got to be real, right? And that's only how healing is going to begin. Now, on with the show. I talked about the Dulles High School. I talked about the play. Y'all better support this play. I'm coming for y'all through this screen, okay? Shout out to my YouTube family. Shout out to my Instagram family. Welcome to the Real Love and Tea Show. Well, I got love in my heart and tea up in this cup. Oh, that's some good chai tea. Yes, baby. Yes. And I know y'all like, Andy, what are you going to talk about today? It's Memorial Day weekend. We kicking it. You have the audacity to come on a holiday? Yes. Because somebody might need healing today. I said it. Somebody might need some healing today. And therefore, I'm going to give it to you. Right? You don't think people need healing on a holiday? A lot of times, this when people commit suicide is during a holiday. You enjoying a barbecue and somebody slitting their wrist or hands or taking some pills because they going through it. So yes, even on a holiday, if I can help it, she coming through. You see me. You see me. You see me. So you're going to say, Andy, what is today's topic about? Stay in the presence. Stay in the presence. Stay in the presence and see God. Like, stay in the presence of what? Let's take a look at it. Stay. The state of a glimpse, notice, to remain in a place. To remain in a place. Stay means to remain in a place. To remain in a place. You ain't going nowhere. You gonna stay planted. You not gonna move. Stay. Like when you stay at home. I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna be comfortable right here. I'm gonna do my show right here. That's right. Stay in a place. And so when it says stay in the presence, what's a presence? In the state or a fact of existing, occurring, or being in a place or a thing. It means existence, occupancy, appearance. And so when you say a state, like a mindset or a fact of existing, occurring. Occurring means happen, taking place. All these things are dealing with a place. I'm getting you to stay in a certain place, is basically what I'm talking about. And so also, presence means a group of people, especially soldiers or police or stationed in a particular place. And then see joy. See a glimpse. To perceive with your eyes, discern visually, identify, take notice, and then joy. It's a feeling of pleasure and happiness, delight, it's jubilation, it's bliss. So, what I need you to do is to stay in a place of joy. I need you to see the joy, even though it's not there. I need you to see the joy. Sometimes, if you're not careful, you will only see the things around you, all the negative things around you. Have you ever been around somebody, all they can see is the negative? Hey, Sassy Dawn, what up, boo? They can only see the negative. That's it. They don't see the positive. They only could gossip with you. And it ain't never any good gossip. Like gossip is always what somebody ain't doing. Girl, can't you believe? Hey, homie, do you know there's such and such? No, there is never any goodness in gossip. So what I want you to do when you stay in this presence, it's a mindset too. It's not necessarily, like they said, physical. So it could either be physical or it could be a state. What kind of state? A mind state. So a man thinketh, so is he. So if you see joy in your mind and then you speak it, what you think, you will speak. And what you speak will become your reality. The actual delight. See, when you think about joy, joy is a permanent type of thing. Happiness comes and goes. But if you stay in joy, it lasts longer. It's so good. Even a delight in it. It's a whole jubilation to it. Even the word jubilation. All these things, this goodness is wrapped up in joy. So in joy is happiness. Happiness is just happiness. You get all these things, but you got to be able to see it. You got to be able to discern it. You heard it said discern in there. That means you got to break apart. How do you discern it? How do you figure it out? Like what lets you know? That discerning spirit in you. Like, God, give me that wisdom, that understanding to know what's going on. I need to discern this is real joy in my life. Something you can't just, you're going to try to snatch away. You got to fight for it. How do you fight for it? You have to stay in the constant presence of it. Because if you don't, it will leave you. Remember in the Bible, it talks about long suffering. Long. That's a big time frame. And it don't say how long, it say long. Like long is like your whole life. Long. But even in that, you will get some goodness in it. Hey, Sarisa, what's going on? Back on. Good girl. Michael, back on. Michael, what up? Thank y'all for coming back. You will get in your presence if you stay in it. If you stay in the presence, meaning you remain there, you don't move from that. Remain, it's a position. I love the painting, girl. Yeah. First Lady Carrie gave me this painting because it represents peace. The lady is calm. You can tell she's just staying in the presence. You got to see joy, see calmness. Hey, what up? Listen, things happen to us, all parts of our life. It's how we get through it. Even through the troubling times, you got to remain in the presence. You got to see it. You got to see the joy. You got to know at the end of this tunnel, there will be light. It don't look like it. It don't feel like it. You might want to move. Don't do that. You might feel like, listen, it's getting hot in here. Let me take off my clothes. I am getting so hot. I want to take my clothes off and get up out of there. You want to get out the kitchen. Like, get out the kitchen. You're going to burn yourself. No, don't get out the kitchen. How about turn the stove off? How about turn some of the burners off? Sometimes we are in certain situations so God can build us and make us stronger. Because sometimes we need that particular temperature for us to hit that boiling point, right? Only certain things are cooked at a boiling point. You can't get a good boiled egg unless it's at a boiling point. Certain things you got to have a boiling point to even make tea. Delicious, good old tea. Some of your best results come at a boiling point. You need a high temperature. Some things aren't clean. Like in the kitchen, you got to be a high boiling point to make sure all the disease and germs are off plates and things. Like when you go to a restaurant, you know that water be hot. They got them special gloves on, them dishwashers. They got that hot boiling water on to make sure all the germs are off the plate. Why? Because many people are eating in the plate, on that plate. I'm sorry. What am I saying? Sometimes you can't get out the kitchen. Sometimes you might have to open up the window. Sometimes you might have to turn the exhaust on. You got to figure out how to stay in that kitchen and make your meal. Your family is hungry. You are hungry. Sometimes you got to learn how to maneuver. We got air fryers now. Sometimes it's too hot. You don't get out the kitchen. You got to stay in there. You got to remain in the presence until you have finished your assignment. I understood the assignment. I understood the assignment. A lot of us are called, but few are chosen. You can have a calling, but what you doing with it? You got to see that thing. You got to see the joy of why you doing what you're doing. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. The position that you're in, you have to stay there. You don't get to leave, because the moment you leave, you missed your assignment. Even in the pain, you have to see the joy. Because it says to see, once again, perceive with your eyes, discern visually. You get a glimpse. You don't even get the whole vision. You get a glimpse. God will sometimes, when you on what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, he will give you a glimpse for you to keep going and let you know you're on the right track. He will give you destiny helpers, and those destiny helpers will help you until their assignment is over. You will get a glimpse. Sharissa says, oh, yes. You get a glimpse of it. A glimpse. You will take notice of it. You'll be able to identify it. You'll be able to identify the joy if you stay put. But if you keep moving all the way around and going back and forth, in and out, you're not stable enough to see anything because you all over the place. Some stuff you got to cut loose. You can't do everything. You're a business owner trying to do everything yourself, and it's driving you crazy. You got to get help. Yes, it's going to save you money, but it's driving you insane. It's causing you to be tired. And you don't want to be tired, and you don't want to die before it comes to fruition. I have gotten to a point in my life where what I can do on my own, I do. And when I can't, I just got to outsource. But then by me outsourcing, I get to help somebody else. I get to help somebody else's business, and that gets to feed their family. And the cycle just continues. You have to see why you're doing what you're doing. So even in the struggles and when you work for yourself, you're making money this month, next month, you know what I'm saying? It goes like this, and then sometimes it's really steady. It's a lot. But the important thing is to stay in it. Even when I want to give up, even when it becomes very challenging, you just can't. You have to stay in it. Stay in it. This too shall pass. It won't always be like this. You say, Andy, whatever. See it. How can I see it? You don't know the hell that I'm going through. You don't know that I'm homeless. You don't know, Andy. How could you say that? You don't know the type of relationship I'm in. You don't know I'm in domestic violence. You don't know I'm in a loveless marriage. You don't know I have a parent that's abusive. How do I see the joy? The fact that God woke you up this morning or this evening to see another day. There's such thing as strategic planning. You got to see the joy and how to get out of it. You don't necessarily get out of things right away, but there is a way to do it. One thing I do know, there's a connection with the Father. And if you stay in tune, He will keep you on the right path. It's when you start trying to do things on your own where we continually mess up. And I'm self-made and you ain't self nothing because you had some help in there. You may not want to give credit to where credit is due, but there was some credit. God woke your behind up in order for you to do it. There was a creator that created you, that woke you up, that allowed you to have all your faculties to do what you need to do. And it's very important that we remember that and we keep our eyes stayed on Him. How do you see joy? Straight through Him. Because sometimes when I feel like weeping and my tears are clouding my eyes, the joy on the inside, joy is on the inside. It's a internal type of thing. He gives you that. You don't just necessarily see with these. Discernment comes in here. It's on the inside of you. It's you waking up saying, God, give me the discernment. God gives that to you, not through these. You looking out, you think I'm talking about necessarily seeing also with your natural eyes. No, the seeing is also in here and in here. Your state of mind. He will give you a glimpse and say, go do this. He will send people to you. But you have to be connected and not in the way of you just thanking God because He gave you some stuff, right? I just want to thank the Lord for getting me out of this. And I got a nice house and car and all. No, 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 no. It ain't, fuck that. Like He will bless you with all that stuff. But a lot of the times it's because God needs you to bless others. Like a lot of the times, you're supposed to bless the poor. You're supposed to help the poor and help them to the point that you ain't supposed to necessarily get on there talking about I gave them $500 and this. Just help. Like I was telling the students, if you see there's a kid that needs a jacket, a pair of shoes, and you got something in your closet, you're supposed to give it to him. You ain't supposed to tell him, hey, I gave Kiki a jacket and some Jordans. You're supposed to put it in a bag, make sure it's clean, gently used, and give it away. A lot of the times, when we stay in the presence of God, He tells us what to do. So, yes, you are in this devastating situation, but He will help you see your way out of it. I believe in God in therapy. Like one kid was homeless, right? And you're like, Eddie, but she homeless. There's a plan. I said, you old enough to get a job. You old enough to save and get you an account. You old enough not to spend all of your money. When it's time, you can get financial aid. I said, you could also learn a trade, something you like to do, make money doing that. You ain't necessarily got to work for somebody. What are you good at? One little girl was good at making beads. I told her, and I said, listen, y'all laughing at this girl now because she ain't got the latest weave and all that. I said, by the time she's 21, she can go and she keeps selling her beads, how beautiful they are. She could be a millionaire if she know how to invest and save. We keep thinking that only adults could be rich, right? Or adults could start businesses. No, you get you a clientele and stack that paper. You go to your job, take care of your clients until it's time for you to have to go back to the shelter or wherever you at. By the time you have stacked up so much, you could go on your own when you old enough. You have to have a plan. And when times get tough, you tell yourself, listen, this too shall pass. I said, you got to have a future, what you want to do. So while you got this job, while you creating, getting this clientele together, what do you want? Where do you see yourself? See yourself, and you will be there. You want to act? Get in some acting classes. What do you want to do to build your future? Whatever it is, you got to work for it. Faith without works is dead. So you could see and be in the presence all day, but if you don't put your work to action, if you don't put it to good use, then it's not going to even matter. It's 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 not going to work. You have to put it to good use. Faith without works is dead. You can't do that. I'm staying in the presence of God. I'm trusting in God for a miracle. Woo, woo, woo. I see the joy. I see it. I see it. But being in the presence, you got to put in that work. You in this hellish marriage, you got to put in the work to figure out how you're going to get out of it. Do you want to die there? You got to be secretly planning. You want a business? Did you check out what it takes to run it? Did you go and actually work for a company that does the same thing you're trying to do so you can see the kinks in it? So you don't have to make the same mistakes? Being in the presence, staying in the presence means it's a mindset. Whatever I'm in, I'm going to get out of. Because I see the joy. It's coming. 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 You just got to wait for it. This baby here drew this picture. You never know what she might become. Maybe I inspired her. Taught her don't give up. Stay who you are. Don't change for anybody. Get better at being a better person, but don't like completely change who you are to fit in. No, don't do that. It's your uniqueness that's going to get you through the door. So you say, Andy, you did all this talking. You told me to identify the joy, to see it, that I got to put in the work and all that. And I got to stay in the presence, meaning I can't go nowhere. Even though I want to move, it's getting hot in here. And I want to take off all my clothes. I want to get up out of here. I need to move. I can't breathe. You say you got to stay in the presence and you got to be in tune with God. That's correct. You don't believe me? I got scripture. You know, I'm going to break it on down. You ready? Here we go. Job 8:19. Behold, this is the joy of his way. And out of the earth shall others grow. Job chapter 8:19. Behold, B is a state. You holding something, right? Behold, grab on to this. This is the joy of his way. Whose way? God's way. Whose way? God's way. What up, Jonelle? What up, Laney Lane? Whose way? God's way. And out of the earth shall others grow. So, the earth, ain't that where we from? If you plant it, right, the earth, the ground, if you plant that joy, if you put that joy in you, it will grow. Others will grow from it. So if it becomes a part of you, if you stay in the present, it will grow. So if you stay in the presence of God, if you see the joy, so if you see this thing, if it becomes a part of you, do the math. I'm telling you, it will spread like wildfire. It will spread. If you plant it, it will grow. The earth. Because in the Bible, you know, they do a lot of agriculture. The earth, which is basically you. It's a form of you. If you put it in you, it will grow. It's contagious. The earth shall others grow. It's going to grow. Once it be, again, Job 8:19, behold, that means capture this thing. Make it a part of you. This is the joy of his way, the delight of whose way? God's way. And out of the earth, if it becomes a part of you, you plant this thing in you, you stay in the presence, it will affect others. It says the earth shall, the earth shall others grow. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. The joy is gonna grow. And it'll affect you, then it'll affect another person and another person and another. It starts with one person. The prodigal son, he went after the one. You are the earth. What you are sowing within yourself. That's it. You got to put into yourself. Just like negativity spreads, so can positivity. It's what you decide to do with it. Then the next chapter, good old Job. We back to Job. And remember, Job lost a lot. This the one that lost all his businesses, lost his children. He got sick. All type of stuff happened to Job. But one thing Job did not do is give up on God. What Job did is stay in the presence. If you remain, if you stay, if you don't move and you see the joy in God and you know where it comes from, if you stay in tune with the Creator, then guess what? It's not, listen, he died on the cross, okay? He knows the hairs on your head to the soles of your feet. He don't want you to be in a certain situation. If it's bringing you fear, anxiety, depression, it's gaslighting you. Jonelle says everything his wife told to curse God and die, she left. Yeah, she left. Well, ain't that what people do? Now that they can't get what they want, now that they go through the pain starts talking because She lost her children too. She the one that birthed them, right? And sometimes hurt people hurt. Remember, just like joy spread, hurt spread. It was unbearable for her. But if she just would have stayed like Job did, Job got double portion. Double portion. Because he stayed in the presence and he saw the joy. He knew what God could do, even through that troubling time. Even though he didn't birth them kids, those was his DNA, his chromosomes that helped make them babies. Those was his businesses. That was the illness on him. Because he stayed, what happened? God gave him double portion. It says, Jonelle says, teach Queen 100%. Hold on to God and watch, and it will all come back. It will. You will be in your right mind. Sometimes captivity is not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing. Your mind is captive. So you can't see the joy because you can't stay in the presence because you're in captivity. You're in slavery. Your mind is enslaved by all just the different things around. Hey, Omar Northern, what up? Your brain, your mind is enslaved. You can't stay on the presence. You can't see the joy. You can't see the goodness. You can't see the delight. You can't plant it inside you because your mind is all held up hostage. Right. Got to have the right mind to win. You do. And how do you do that? You got to ask God for guidance. Listen, you got to take some ownership. You got to take the part that you play. You got to say, I'm not right. Listen, first thing is accountability. Nobody wants to take account of, everybody wants to play the victim. Not the fact that there are not any victims. Yes, there are. But you got to take the accountability like, listen, I am in a situation. You got to look at, you got to face value. Accountability is also having face value about some things too. Hey, what up? Chantel, Sonia, what up? True to Zambia. You have to have face value. Listen, this is the situation I'm in, but I'm going to get out. Sometimes you trust in God and you don't even, listen, I know He's going to get me out. That's all you can say. He going to get me out of this. And while He's giving you out, He's going to give you little context clues. He's going to say, hey, go do this. Go do that. Hey, you need to go talk to that therapist. You don't have nobody to talk to? They got free services. You might need to go talk to a therapist. Janelle says, got to face the mirror of the truth. You have to. That's accountability. Accountability is not blaming the victim and the accuser gets off scot-free. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to move in silence. You got to go get the therapy. You can't go tell nobody, hey, I'm going to therapy. They'll be like, hey, you looking a lot better. You got to glow about yourself. And the person that's trying to victimize you can't figure out what's going on because you ain't told them nothing. They just notice like, damn, this person is getting stronger. They got a better, because that person got a better relationship with God. They going to therapy. They getting the healing that they need. They getting the breakthrough that they need. All you need is a breakthrough. Once you break through, once you break that chain, once you get out the slavery, once you get out the bondage, you'll be able to move. But you got to stay in the presence of healing. Stay in the presence of what's taking place. Because remember, Presence means the state or fact of existing or occurring. Occurring is what's happening, what's taking place right now, or being in a place. Existence. That means alive. It's going on right now. It is living. This situation, you're living in it. So you're taking place. You're living in this madness. But you still got to stay in the presence. You still have to stay in the presence of getting up out of it. You say, what? Give me the other scripture, Andy. You gave me one. That's just one stupid scripture. Give me another. And you better be careful. The other scripture is Job 33:26. Job 33:26. He shall pray unto God, and he will be favorable unto him. He shall see his face with joy, for he will render unto man his righteousness. Ain't that what I just said? In a roundabout way. This is a man who lost a lot, but gained it all back. He lost some stuff that people would have killed themselves over. Some people kill themselves over money. They lost all. He lost all, and he wasn't a broke man. That man was one of the richest men. Okay, all of it. And you know, it's people who got a lot to say about Job. It's a lot of people, like people with you when you got everything. But then there be some people you thought they was your friends, but you kind of found out that they wasn't, because you found out a lot about a person after you lose some stuff. When you break up with somebody, oh, I knew that wasn't gonna work out. Oh, you lost your job. Oh, you ain't like that job anyway. It ain't for you to say that. I needed that job. It helped pay the bills. Well, I thought you said you trusted in God. Why don't you go ahead and stop? Wait a dang minute. I was using that job to start my business. I was using that job for whatever I needed it for. That ain't for you to just shame me because I no longer have a job. It's no longer for you to be shame me because I'm not in that relationship anymore. You got rid of that friend. See, I knew she wasn't no good. You definitely see who with you in the loss. Yes, you definitely do. So even while you staying in the presence, it's people that don't stay in the presence with you. You have to be the person that sees it. Even when nobody else sees it, you have to see it. You have to see that joy. You have to live in it. It's in the net. It says presence, existence, to live. Existence means it was alive. So even if it's dead, you got to conjure that thing up and bring it back. You got to resurrect that thing. You got to say to yourself, listen, I used to be snatched. I'm going to get it back. I may not be able to do as fast as I used to because I'm getting older, but and it may have to take more work. My metabolism slowed down, but I see myself healthier, better. Because now I'm older. When you're older, you're supposed to gain some type of wisdom. So you don't do the same little stupid stuff anymore. When you're older, things are supposed to mean a little bit more to you because you're older. You won't have as much time as you think you do. Like when you're younger in your 20s. I'm 40. Dude, I'm half of 80. You know what I'm saying? The time keeps going. It don't stop. So you got to make the time count. You got to make it matter. Because you don't know how much time you got on this earth. So you just wasted your whole life being in the presence of negativity. What did that give you? How many pills are you on? Does those pills help with anything? Are you getting better? Or is everything still falling apart? Because that's only one thing. You just medicating is only one part. You still got to put in the work for those that got chemical imbalances and things like that. I'm not against it. What I'm saying to you is that's only one part. You still mentally have to be a part of it. You still, what did they tell you? You have to be present. It's taking place. It's happening now. Your life is happening. You can't let that pass you by. Do not pass me by. Do 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 do. Do not pass me by. Do 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 do. You can't let it pass you by. I know you're like, Andy, whatever. You don't know. It started when I was a child. Listen, the fact that you've grown, you can have accountability now. You now are old enough to deal with it. You're old enough to take the reins now. Before an adult was over you, now you are the adult. So now you get to take the power. Back when it happened to you when you were younger, you didn't have the power. Now you do have the power. They can't gaslight you. They can't manipulate you. Because when you stay in the presence, you are aware. You're aware of what's going on. And by you seeing joy, you like, listen, you cannot have this. This love, joy, and peace brings this joy that God has. God has it, and He told me I can have it. Nobody gets to take that away from you. The only way they take it away from you is if you gave it to them. But now that you're aware of it, you could do something about it. And so God gives destiny helpers, and I'm going to give them to you. So there's two. Okay. You are in the situation. You want to stay in the presence of God. You want to see joy. You just don't know what to do. You need somebody to talk to. There are Christian therapists that you can tell them, hey, this is what happened to me. And they're going to help you through it. One is Dr. Darlene Nichols. Dr. Darlene Nichols. Okay. danministries.com. danministries.com, 773-366-3437, 773-366-3437. Also, you have Adonis D. Johnson, I Am My Life Coach. I Am My Life Coach, right? It is some books, some DVDs. It's a twofer. You got books and DVDs, and then there's actual life coaches, right? And at the end of the day, you got some homework to do. You got to put in the work. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a different result. That's insanity. You're driving yourself crazy, boo. And it's time to get off that Ferris wheel. Keep going in circles. Circle is still a pattern. And you got to change the paradigm, change the narrative. You can do this. I believe in you. I'm not coming at you because I think you are weak. I'm coming at you because you are strong. And if God could deliver me, He could deliver you. He's no respect of persons. In fact, when you can't get a therapist or a life coach, there is Jesus, God. He's been waiting on you this whole entire time. He wants a relationship with you. I know you're thinking like, Andy, if you believe in God, then you don't need no therapist. No, hold on. God told us to be in the world, but not of it. It's some people right now that's dealing with some mental issues. What the world lets you know it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Health Awareness Month. The world lets you know there's a problem. So why would you want the world to solve your problems? Why wouldn't you want God to solve your problems? So why don't you think that God put Christians in to help with mental health? I'll wait for it. Don't you think God himself created people to help you with your mental problems? So I don't shame therapists. Some people really do need it. If you don't need it, that's fine. If you want to stay in your toxic, traumatic situations, go ahead. But I know the Father that I serve is okay with it if it's done right. Would you rather a person go see a therapist or kill themselves? I'll wait for it because they didn't have nobody to talk to. I'll wait. I'm going to sip on that a little bit. Would you rather have someone commit suicide because the pressure just was too much? Or would you rather them have a therapist and get some healing? I would choose the latter because that's what I would do. But like I said, when you can't get to the therapist or the life coach who God created, hey, Cassandra Hunt, when you can't get to the therapist or the life coach that God created, you just go to God himself and say, God, come into my life. Be my Lord and Savior. I know you died on the cross for my sins. And in Jesus' name I pray, amen. And then right there you saved. And what does that mean? That means, and I hate when people say, oh, now that you saved, like everything you've done, your wrongs have been righted. No, it don't work like that. God is just and he is fair, and you still gotta, hey, you did some, you gotta do the time. Meaning if you did something, you might have to go to court. You might have to go to jail. You might have to go through the trial process, and then you realize, like, listen, it's not enough information. You get set free or whatever, or you get a lesser sentence. But at the end of the day, you still have to own up to your responsibilities. God is there, and He gonna get you through it. He gonna get you through it through some peace, okay? But what am I saying? At the end of this, you got to see the joy. You have to remain in the presence. What did I say earlier? You got to stay in the presence and see the joy. So even though Cassandra's on the call real quick, Cassandra put what she had into this play, like I told y'all, because she saw a need in the community. She saw babies being shot up and all type of stuff, saying, hey, they need something productive to do. She's been doing this for 25 years. She loves the kids. Heck, it's all on her car, kids, little, pictures and stuff like that. Even though there's a situation, she's going to stay in the presence and do something about it. She's going to see the joy. She is going to own that building. So these kids have a place to come. So they will have joy. Your calling is attached to somebody else. Even though y'all don't see the things of us staying up till 10 to 12 for rehearsals and things like that, and the other things that she personally has to go through. She's staying in the presence, and she sees the joy. And if you stay on that, guess what will happen? Everything will come to fruition, because God is not a man that he should lie. That's why I gave y'all Job 18, chapter 18, 19, Job 33, 26. He shall pray unto God. You go to God. When you are out of the present, go to him to keep you there, to help you stay there, help you stay strong. Like I said before, you got to stay in the kitchen. Sometimes you don't get to get out the kitchen because it's hot. Maybe you need to turn the exhaust on, turn the fan on, open up a window, turn the burner off, get out the George Foreman grill, get an air fryer. But that meal has to be complete. You don't get to get out because it's getting hot. It says he shall pray unto God and he will be favorable unto him. So when you go to God in prayer, you're favorable to him because you saying, God, I trust you in the process. I don't see it, but I trust you. We trusted him in this process that we doing. We trusted him in this process. There is a process. And he says he will be favored. That he shall pray unto God and he will be favorable. Then it says, he shall see his face with joy. So you will see God's face with joy. He's going to give you this joy. He will render unto man his righteousness. So God is going to give you righteousness, dealing with your salvation. What you do on this earth, what joy you plant, how you live your life affects where you're going in the afterlife. And those that don't believe, you shall see for yourself. Faith in God shows confidence and love. It does. It shows confidence and love. You could pretend like, oh, Andy, you just talking hogwash. You just on here to be talking. Let me tell you something. At the barbecue I was at, somebody told me today that they had been watching me and I had got them out of a situation. I don't have their number. They don't have mine. They found out I had a show and turned it on. And they said if the God was not speaking to them. Let me explain something to you. I'm just a vessel. I didn't down nobody's cross. But what he did say is, in order to have a testimony, you got to have a test. And the reason why you have a testimony is to free others, to tell them your story so they can have a story. What kind of a story? A thriving story. I real quick want to give a special shout out to the Powerhouse Chicago, Pastor Hudson, Bishop Hudson gave a phenomenal sermon. And it was about storms and snakes. You're going to go through some storms. And it was Acts, the week before it was 27, and then there was Acts 28. In Acts 27, Paul went to jail for preaching the word of God. So he didn't get in trouble because he was doing the wrong thing. He got in trouble because he was doing the right thing. And sometimes when you do the right thing, you're going to piss people off, but you do it anyway. He stayed in the presence and he saw the joy of God. And because he stayed, hey, Barakwa, and because Paul stayed in the presence of God, he got in trouble and ended up going on this ship to Rome. So he ended up getting in a storm. And because he stayed in the presence, he stayed in the joy, he stayed talking about God, even on this boat, the guard let him off. But here's the thing. By him letting him go, the other prisoners were let free, which lets you know Sometimes you do stuff that is wrong. Hey, Mignon 314. Sometimes you do things that are wrong, but God gives you another chance. So these people were locked up because they did do something. But when you're in the presence of somebody that's doing something positive, you get the benefit of it. Did you hear me? You get the benefit of it. Paul was doing something. He was doing what he was supposed to do and still got in trouble. And then there was people on the boat that really did do what they did. They were murderers and stealers, thieves and all that. But when they got in the presence and they were locked up in position with Paul, when that guard freed him, they all were free. Now God give you this second chance. Then the storm comes. He didn't give you this second chance. Now you in a storm. You got in the storm because you didn't do anything, and you also got in the storm because you got a second chance, and now you're gonna do right. You're staying in the presence, you're seeing it. Now you about to go through this storm. You're saying, Andy, what? So y'all read Acts 27. I'm not gonna tell y'all that, but then in 28, they go through the storm. And in the storm, the boat tears up. Like this vessel that's supposed to get you to your destination is falling apart. What is we gonna do? Well, he said, for those, Paul told them, the ones that could swim to shore, swim to shore. The ones that cannot swim to shore, get a broken piece and swim on that, float on that. So even in your brokenness, get to shore. The presence of God and you see and joy is getting to shore. So even in your presence, there's going to be a storm. You got to get through it. It's going to tear up some stuff. People, places, and things. You did do it. He said you're forgiven. But now you got to get out. Now you got through the storm, though. Now you said you're going to get your life together. For those of us who have redirected our life to Christ, we're going to get ourselves together. But we're going through a storm. We ain't supposed to go through nobody's storm. I said I gave my life to Christ. Andy, I just did the sinner's prayer. How could I go through a storm? Because, baby, like God is just and he's fair. He told you it's going to be some long suffering. But the one he did say he will be with you always. So you not by yourself. So the ones that were the ability to swim, they swam. They swam. And the ones that couldn't, they got on the pieces and they floated. Now that you get to the other side, now that they get to this island, you think you home free. I just got out of a storm. God, hey, I got redemption. I got redeemed from doing something and I ain't even do nothing. Or, like I said, hey, I did do something. He redeemed me. He gave me some redemption and told me, all right, cool. So these people start a fire. Start a fire. Guess what jumps out the fire? A snake. Watch those people that see you go through a storm. Some people don't want you to get out of the storm. They want to see you there. They don't want to see you in the presence. They don't want to see you stay in the presence. They don't want to see you have joy. They don't want to see it. You have to stay in the presence. This is the flip. The snake bit Paul. He jumped out of a fire, like Pastor Hudson said, because snakes, can't be too hot, too cold. But when the snake jumps out of the fire, it bites Paul in his hand. Now you saying, what's so amazing about that? Paul used his hands to heal people. And when he bit them, snakes have what? Venom, which is poison. Watch the snakes. They coming after you because you want to stay in the presence of God, and you want to see the joy even through the storm. Even when you got out of the storm and you ready to keep on moving, you ready to keep doing your calling, be careful, because that snake is ready to attack you again because you wasn't supposed to make it through. Whoever's living through this, you did get out the relationship. You did get away from that parent. You did come from jail. You did get out of homelessness. You did turn your life around, whatever it is. You did get off the drugs. You did stop the prostitution. You did stop the fornication. Whatever it is that you did, ain't nobody judging you. I don't do that. That's not what this channel is for. This is a safe space. This is a place to tell you I love you. Be careful who you surround yourself with. I keep telling you, because they coming to bite you. And they coming to sick their venom on you. And they coming to take you out. It's a distraction. What do snakes do? They distract. They hit you. They the charm. You understand? They got them eyes. They want to charm you. Be careful. All snakes aren't bad. But this one was, and it bit him. But all Paul did was shake it off. And it didn't even affect him. Then he went on to heal somebody at the fire. I'm not going to tell you. Go look. Go read Acts 27 and 28. Go read for yourself. What am I saying to you? Even when you get out the storm, you might get in a storm and it had nothing to do with you, right? You were doing what you were supposed to do and you got in the storm. Or you did get in the storm, but because you hung around somebody that was in the presence of God and they showed you the way, now you think, okay, my life is going to get better. And you get in a storm. How could I get in a storm and I said I'm going to do right? I quit doing what I'm doing because that's not life. But what I will tell you is get through the storm. When you get to shore, watch your surroundings. Be careful. And if you do get bitten, shake it off. Don't let it hinder you. Keep going. Stay in the presence. Because when you stay in the presence, God didn't let that venom go through. It didn't even affect Paul. You say it didn't affect Paul. Guess what? It didn't affect Paul. And he was able to heal with the hair. That was what God gave him, the ability to heal. Whatever your calling is, stay in it. Stay in the presence. Don't give up. This is your life. You make decisions. I know I was supposed to come on at 7 o'clock. I couldn't get here at 7 o'clock. But I got on live and told you I'm going to be a little late, but I'm coming. Because I have to stay in the presence. This ain't for fun. I don't know when you going to see this. You may see it after the live, later tonight. You may see it tomorrow, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years, 4 years. I don't know how long they're going to keep this up. But I will tell you, this message was for you. It wasn't by accident you came across it. God did not forget about you. He is no respect of persons. If he could do it for me, he could do it for you. I'm telling y'all the honest to God truth. Somebody told me today at the barbecue, yo, I watch your show. I can't watch it live, but I watched one of your episodes, and if God was not speaking to me, that's what this show is about. I do like the likes and the shares, because when you share it, it helps somebody. If you like it, that lets me know that, okay, Andy, I needed this. Even if you don't like it, that's cool too. But by you liking it and sharing it, I know it's helping. Y'all, it's Mental Awareness Month. But people been killing themselves for the past 3 years in this pandemic like never ever before. It is not just a physical attack, it is a spiritual attack. So you can't just fight in the physical. You also got to fight spiritually. You can't just, you got to put some work in. You got to do what you need to do. You got to praise. You got to worship. You got to read your word. You got to keep the full armor of God. But most important, you got to have a relationship. I'm on here to tell y'all, like, listen, this ain't about being seen. I don't need to be seen like that. Like when I was with those kids, they said those kids were quiet and listened to me the whole time, and they don't listen to nobody. It's the transparency. People are hurting, and they don't want to hurt anymore. People want peace in their life. But what if you grew up with dysfunction? Who's going to help? Somebody got to take the time out. Somebody got to say, hey, you too can get out of it. Some people want to stay in darkness. That's fine. I let them stay in their lane. They can stay in darkness for all I care. But those that want to come into the light and have love and joy and peace, and that let them know that God loves them and he did not forsake them, that he's been waiting on you this whole entire time. God is not a respecter of persons. He knows that you are not perfect. That's okay. The Bible is full of imperfect people. Before Paul was Paul, he was Saul. Saul was a murderer. So before he did all the healing with the hand, he was also using his hands to tell people to kill Christians off. Okay? So that same person I told you about that did the healing of the hands was the same person that persecuted and had people killed and was awful and was a terror. But when he got with God, he turned his life around. And so he could do it for Paul, he could do it for you. And you probably didn't even do all of that. You feel me? This ain't about, okay, I'm cute. I am cute now. But that's just surfacey. How's my soul? God cares about how clean my heart is. How I'm going to get into heaven is how clean my heart is. And I confess that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But listen, you could be thinking you doing all this work, good work, and you pleasing man, and you ain't pleased God. Not at all, not a little bit. In fact, you are in a closed heaven. That means your prayers go up and come straight back down. He ain't listen to a word you say because you ain't nothing but a manipulator and a liar. That's why he will get a false prophet, because you are using what God said for your doing and not his doing. Just stating facts. I'm going to sip on that tea on this note. So yes, at the end of the day, because I'm getting ready to close, God wants you to stay in the presence of him so you can see the joy, even when you don't see the joy. That man Paul was on a boat on the way to Rome to go to a prison. He was locked up, chained, bound with people who really did do stuff. Do you understand me? Sometimes he will have you around unsavory people to let them know, to tell their testimony. Let me tell you something. You don't believe Paul was on that boat saying, hey man, I used to murder people too. See, people trust you when you tell the truth. He was on that boat with murderers, and he told the truth of how God delivered him on the road to Damascus. He was locked up and bound on a boat with people who had probably recently did something, and say it ain't too late for you to change your life. So as he was on that boat, chained up with people who were not right, guess what happened? They got saved. bound and broken in darkness. Please believe that boat wasn't a cruise. And they wasn't on their way to Gilligan's Island. What they was on their way to was a prison in Rome. And after that man talked to that guard, Paul, and them other people got freed, how bad do you want to be healed? Because if you want to be healed, you got to swim to shore. Like Paul told them, hey, Jezebel X, like Paul told them, if you could swim, swim. If you can't, paddle. Float. Get a piece of wood from the boat. That thing that bound you. You ride on top of it. You get on top of it. And you go to shore. So that thing, that boat that was holding you captive, about to take you somewhere, you get on top of that thing. Even if it's a piece. A piece is better than not getting on top of it at all. It's called having accountability. You see it, you notice it, you know it ain't right, you know it don't feel right. Get on top of it. Even if it's a little piece, get to shore. Because the moment you move, your steps have been ordered. All you got to do is take a step. All you got to do is tell yourself, I want to change. I want a difference in my life. I am Andy the Barber Doll, and I believe in you. I believe in the restoration. Whatever you lost, God will give you something better. Sometimes that door had to shut because it was toxic what was behind that door, and he don't want you to ever go back. He wants you to rediscover who you are in him. You are a new creature. Yes, remember what you did so you could tell others about it. Don't forget that was a part of you, the old you. You don't do that anymore, but you could tell people, I don't do that anymore. And if you want to get out, I can help you. But then you're going to rediscover who you are, because now you're a new person and you have a right to change. Remember, joy allows you to grow. You get to be better. Listen, you get to be better. And maybe today is your day that you was calling out to God and say, God, give me a sign. Here's a miracle sign and a wonder. Your girl is here right now telling you. We are family. We part of the doll family. I created this channel to let you know that you are not aware. And I am called to the broken. I am Isaiah 61. And he wants to give you beauty for your ashes. If he could do it for me, he could do it for you. He just waiting on you, baby. He don't care what you did. Sorry. Only man judges like that. They can't forgive, but then they forget what they've done. I have no right to judge you. Now, if you're still in your fallen state, you understand, and you ain't trying to get any help, that's a whole nother ball game. Because I didn't die on nobody's cross and I can't save you. All I can do is give you the information and give you the right people that you need to contact. The main person is God himself. Get you in connection with him. Tell you to go ahead and trust in him and give yourself to him and see what happens. You tried everybody else. Why not do God? This show is called The Real Love at T, because love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-seeking. I'm not seeking anything from you. I'm kind to you. I'm telling you, listen. I'm not keeping any score of your wrongs. God is love and I am love. If God is in me, that I have love in me. I surround myself with love. Love is all around me. I speak love. I am love. I keep love on me. And I love you enough to tell you stop being broken and to stay in the presence. If you got out the presence, get back in and see the joy. Till next time. Same time, same cute girl. Bye. YouTube, Instagram. I stayed on the 926 because